So now, yeah. Okay, so we're with Jay in the basement of Jane and Scott's, and here we are in winter.
On Elgin Ave in Simcoe, on the south side of 107, and it is Christy and Helen Maxwell and Jay.
And yeah. Now, do you remember your neighbors? Who was?
Whitaker was on the north, on the corner of Union and Elgin Ave, and Mrs. Ross was across on the west side of that same corner.
Mm-hmm.
To the south, where that open space is later on going to be Dr. Jim Seiler's house.
Okay.
It isn't there yet.
Right. And this, do you know what buggy you're on? You're on a. Do you know what you're on there? There's a good shot of Helen.
So I recall the buggy was wicker and painted bright blue, or navy blue.
Neat. Now there's Jay.
Right? That's Jay and Christy.
Posing for the. Now, probably Jack taking the pictures?
Don't know.
Yeah. Now, so what house is that in the background?
That's the Whitaker house.
Okay. And you had a bit of a hill somewhere.
Well, it's a little higher land
Okay.
there. Union Street is a little bit lower. That's Dad, and that's King Street. The back of the houses on King Street.
And are these trees still there? They look like they were planted. They'd be grown up pine trees now.
I don't think they're there.
Yeah. And there's Marion. And because we think this is 1934, so we're thinking she's in her late 20s. And Jack is what, a couple of years older than Marion?
Well, he was born in '06, I think, and
Okay.
Mother was born in '07. And I think they were married in '27. But there's Jimmy Miller's house, or Chick Innes built it. That's one of the Innes houses. And that's where John Backus, the lawyer, is now. And that is the nurse's residence.
So that's Elgin Ave looking south,
that's
south,
correct.
basically?
Yes, and up the hill, it connected at that time with West Street.
So over.
And that house is down on the corner of what was George Street then. I don't know, I forget, they've changed the name. There's at least 3 houses in between those.
Right.
Jim Siders was the first, and then Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
and then Stinson.
Now, do you know who built your house?
I don't know. I don't remember. I've been told, I think, but I don't remember.
I remember. Did someone live in it before
No.
you guys? So
Dad had it built for them.
Okay.
And I have a feeling it cost in the range of $8,000.
Right.
Because years later, the owner of the house at that time said it cost her that much to have a new roof put on it.
So this is the cornerstone. So we're thinking maybe this is the.
I'm pretty sure it's a high school,
High school,
because if
yeah.
it's 34, that's Judge Bowles.
Okay.
And there is a plaque on the building,
Mm-hmm.
and we just donated that trowel to the high school for their memorabilia.
Right. 'Cause I remember the trowel in the house.
Yes,
Yeah. I remember that.
and they now have it.
For sure. That looks like Dad.
That is Dad,
Rather dapper.
Dapper Dad.
youngest mayor in Canada at the time
And
that
cold.
he was elected.
Looks like a cold, cold day.
And,
So that's the trowel right there.
and that's the cornerstone.
Of what? The
High school,
High school.
which in our day was the auditorium,
Ah.
cafeteria later on.
Trip to the Bahamas.
Just the Bahamas. Now I've edited some out, so it's mostly just Jay and.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Look at that carriage.
Well, we weren't there.
Yeah.
This was a holiday, and that's Nassau, the Bahamas, just for the record.
Now would they go on winter trips like this?
Oh,
Yes.
a lot of trips, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
California, Florida.
Yeah, I don't know if that Mom and Dad got to. grandfather went to California every year.
But I thought they
in the
went on
latter years.
golfing trips with Dave Noble.
And Bev Anderson.
And
but that was
what
Sea
Fowler?
Island, Georgia,
Oh.
not California, to the best of my knowledge.
Right.
And of course his mother.
And she looks like her sisters.
Yeah, although much better figure than Billy.
Yeah.
But
She has a
not-
nice figure here.
not as good as Alice, if you want to get.
Technical.
Yes, right.
Not applying SPF 50.
No, I think not. And I think they golfed there actually, but certainly the Sea Island, Georgia, there are pictures somewhere with Bev Anderson because he was
Oh, yeah.
a widower at that time. His wife having died, carrying Wally home from the hospital.
Oh, really?
You weren't there. That was 19.
Oh, I never heard of it. That's
Never
really
did know how
I
that
never realized that.
transpired.
They had an apartment up over Kindy's first floor.
I mean, I knew he
third
committed
floor.
suicide, but I didn't know it was on the
Oh,
way.
that was years different. This was
Different.
when Wally was born. And
She
Oh,
died.
yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
her only
Okay,
child.
she died. Okay.
Sure.
Another shot of Jack looking dapper white.
Inspecting the flowers.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking like a little Reed-like in there, eh?
Yeah, very much so.
As Lauren was looking at these, and here's a float plane,
Right.
and flight was relatively new by this time, right?
Yeah, and there were at least 4 engines on that. I didn't really get a good view of it, but yes, it was a very expensive.
They did a lot of
Airplane.
travel when travel was not normal.
Well,
would
during the
say.
Depression, for some reason, the bond business was pretty good.
Mm.
So Dad was making pretty good money
Mm-hmm.
in those mid-30s.
Like bonds today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Government bonds.
Because they went to pot later after the crash, and a lot of them were had to be refinanced, and that's when it wasn't the World Bank, but there was a Peru bonds. He or grandfather had sold Peru bonds, and they eventually were reissued, and they spun the term out by 20 years.
Here's someone new that.
I think that's Lily Brook.
Oh, look,
Yeah, it looks like Lily.
Lily Bro- okay, you'll see her again. Yeah.
They're at a racetrack.
Now, who is
Yeah,
now,
that's
who
her
are- who is
again.
she? Is she one
That's
like
the same
Brooks
one.
Of
Yes,
Simcoe?
Fred Brook. He was Joe Brook's father,
Now, is that Marion there?
Yeah.
and they lived in what is now Heritage Lodge. She did. And she was a widow for a long time. He died young, and she was the grand dame of Simcoe as far as socializing was
She was the
concerned.
Brooke Willen, eh?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where this is, but
Well, whatever
Maybe
racetrack is in Nassau, I
yeah,
guess.
you think it was Nassau still?
I
guess.
think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Playing the horses.
I'm sure there wouldn't be any other place that would have horse racing besides Nassau.
Yeah.
Well, on the island.
Yeah, I just wondered
Well,
whether
that's what I meant.
on their way home or something, but
I
okay,
don't.
so
I don't think so. But
here's more baby shots.
Oh, is that Jay?
presumably.
I think that's Jay.
I thought there was at least a still picture of
Christy?
Gene Ross, who lived in the house next to where we live now, the big one on the other
Oh,
corner.
where's this?
And that could be. You think that's Christie?
That's
Yeah,
good,
oh yeah, that's
Okay.
Christy.
But that's not
I-
Elgin necessarily.
No, it's not
No.
Elgin.
Okay.
Definitely not Elgin.
So their neighbor's place, maybe.
I can't recognize the house
Yeah, I sure
as
don't.
such.
Thinking that
Unless
Christy
it's
looks
in,
like Steph.
unless it's in the side yard in front
No,
of.
who's that?
That is Gene Ross.
Okay.
Glover was her
Right,
married
J.D.
name.
Glover?
Yes,
Right, okay.
Mm.
and she lived across the street
Okay.
on the corner of Union and Elgin Ave.
Yeah. So she's a
And she's still alive and well
Huh.
on old number
I'll have to show it to her.
Three Higher Highway north of.
There's
that's-
Alice.
And that's Chick Ennis's house. At that time, it was Jimmy Miller,
There's Marion, that's Tom, isn't it?
her brother Tom,
Yeah.
Tom, okay.
and sister Alice.
Mm-hmm. Tom again.
Tom again.
Tom
okay.
again. And that's the
Doug
Whitaker
Park.
house, and that's Doug
That's
Park.
Doug,
Right.
Correct.
So Tom passed away.
Was he the one who got hit by lightning?
His son.
His son
Son
did.
did.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No.
Mm.
So is that
Doug and Alice.
Doug.
no?
No, that's
not
Tom.
That's
Or
again.
Tom and Alice.
Tom
Tom and Alice.
Yes,
Tom
and that's grandfather, Howard Nelles.
Howard Nelles. Okay. So does that mean Kit? Like, is that
Kit's husband.
Kit's husband.
Yes.
Now is she in these? I'm not
I
sure.
haven't
but
seen
I
her.
haven't seen her yet. Yeah. Well, that's nice. So we think this tree planting maybe is that at the Golf and Country Club? You think? I didn't mean let you watch it, but
Probably.
I don't know. I suspect it's
No, is that-
Linwood Park. That was Judge Bowles, I think.
Is that who that is? Okay. I don't
it's a bit
recognize
hill.
those.
I just think because it's a bit hilly.
I
Or
think.
would it be Oakwood Cemetery?
No, I think it's Linwood Park. Because there was a cairn put in there.
Ah.
That's E.H.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson,
Oh,
the
yeah.
drugstore
Okay.
Jackson.
Okay. Yeah.
I should know that other fella.
So now we do.
Marion.
We're back to Elgin Ave
Yeah.
here.
Jay.
I guess.
Is that you? Yeah, I think that's you.
Yes.
Again, do you know where this
Looks
is?
like him.
Well, I don't know. I would have guessed Port Ryerson.
Port
but-
Ryerson.
But it doesn't look like Port Mercy.
No, I know it doesn't. I'm just-
Yeah. So that's you again.
Could be Long Point.
Yeah, I'm thinking Long Point. Yeah, or Turkey Point.
No, never
Not-
Turkey
Never
Point.
Turkey Point. Okay.
Could be Long Point.
They never rented in Turkey Point.
So that's
Alice.
now. This is at the cottage.
That looks like Ryerson.
Yeah,
What
it's the
card?
bottom
I
of the
mean,
hill.
Absolutely.
Because
Oh
there's-
yeah.
there's Gunton's
Oh yeah. That's
cottage.
Ryerson
That's
for
correct.
sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So the other must have been Ryerson too. We just didn't recognize it.
I think so.
And who's that?
Eleanor.
Eleanor Powell.
Ben.
Eleanor
Powell.
Powell. Oh, Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, Eleanor Ben. She was very attractive.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Nice person, too.
So we think that's Christy.
Christy.
Probably.
Yep.
And you'll come into this picture here in a second.
There he
Yeah,
is.
here you
Okay,
go.
yep.
Turn these somersaults. Now, was
Alice.
Alice around much?
No,
Yeah.
but she must have been there on that
Yeah.
occasion.
Yeah.
They were living in Hamilton at the time, so she didn't live that far away.
Right. Right. Not like Billy would be.
No.
Would have been in
Right.
the States and not up very often. So.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And she was quite a bit younger.
Now is that I didn't show her long enough.
And that's the store,
Store at Port
in
Ryerson.
Port Ryerson on the
Okay.
west side.
And I think that's it.
Hmm.
So that's very good. Thank you.
That's it.
Of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.